Music aficionados know our guest as the rapper, keyboardist, guitarist, graphic artist from Linkin Park, whose interactive video, Lost in the Echo, can be experienced now at lostintheecho.com. Let's take a look. Here he is. It's Mike Shinoda. Yeah! So great to have you here. I know you're crazy busy. You're in the middle of your tour, so I appreciate it.
Happy to be here.
So tell us the inspiration behind Lost in the Echo and why do an interactive video versus a typical normal music video?
Well, first of all, I feel like, we've done a lot of videos. We have a chance to have the opportunity to do a lot of videos. And at a certain point, it starts to feel like, music videos are kind of, they just feel similar, what I mean? And this new record, Living Things, and the song Lost in the Echo are they're kind of a personal kind of thing as opposed to like our last record, which is more of a concept record. So we figured we'd try something that was extra personal with the video, and when the viewers watch, it's Facebook connected, so it starts basically pulling them and their friends and family into the video.
So you just log in via Facebook, and then there's some sort of algorithm that just pulls all that stuff from your page.
The guys that we worked with are a lot smarter than I am, and they basically made, we tweaked it a lot to basically work with the viewers' photos. And at certain points you have to remember too, like it kind of just depends who's logging in, like who's connecting to the video. Yeah. So some people who have tons and tons of photos of themselves and their friends and family, those people are going to get that kind of experience. But if you don't have very many and you have a lot of pictures of, say, like your dog and sandwiches, then that's what's going to be in there. And I think people forget that we have a sense of humor too, and because the music's not ever funny, and I've actually, when I logged in to watch the video, that's exactly what I got, is like weird pictures of random stuff.
You have a lot of cat and dog photos and baby photos.
I don't know what I have in Facebook, on my Facebook page. It's a personal one, and it doesn't have my name on it, and I don't have any pictures of myself because it's private. So yeah, I did get some random stuff. Like you see these people in the video are like having like an emotional breakdown over like a cute picture of my dog, so yeah.
But that's really cool because it allows fans to interact. And I've been following you on Twitter for a while. I've always been amazed at how active you are. How hard is it once you have just such a huge band?
That sounds scary. That sounds like, that's like what you say about somebody who tweets too much.
No, I'm meaning, like I'm aware that there's some artists that I'm aware that they're just in the scene and in the trenches of the community, and some that just get it and some that don't, and I feel like you get it. Like, when was the first time that you really felt connected to digital and using all these tools? Yeah,
that's a great question. My bandmates and I were a little bit later on Twitter because in the beginning it wasn't a good fit for us. It was very much like spur of the moment pop culture kind of little bits, which for some people that's more their style. For us, we're more media-based and like kind of bigger, bite-sized chunk, idea-based group. So once that stuff started to fit for Twitter, then Twitter was a better fit for us. Facebook has obviously been a much better fit for us all along. The band is one of the biggest music pages, one of the biggest pages in general on Facebook. And I think that's in part due to the fact that, when it comes to the band each of us expressing ourselves, or the band putting stuff forward as far as the 6 of us as a group, you've got photos, you've got video, you've got longer posts of longer ideas, blog posts, etc. And that stuff fits well over there.
And I'm sure it changes the way you also release your music this day and age.
Absolutely, yeah. I think in the future we'll be experimenting with that side of it more. But getting back to the video thing, for right now, I think our focus is with each video we're trying to do something different, and this Lost in the Echo thing is just the first step in hopefully many. I don't think we're going to do another video that's interactive this way. I think the next thing, hopefully, we'll try something else.
Cool. Well, we have a lot of fans who have tweeted us at What's Trending and who are now in the fan chat on YouTube. So Mike Diva, give us some of those questions.
Well, at 21anonymous90, good name, says, Mike, you seem to be an absolute workaholic. When you're not working, what do you do to chill?
I do enjoy painting, drawing, stuff like that. As you know, since you follow me on Twitter, occasionally
you're acting like I'm a cyber stalker or something.
I didn't say it. She said it. I'll put up pictures, usually Instagrams or something of stuff that I'm sketching, before a show or in the hotel room, like even before an interview like this one, sometimes you got like 10 minutes and I'm sitting there kind of just waiting, killing time. I grew up painting and drawing. That's actually what I thought I would be doing for a living right now, but the music thing kind of took off. So yeah, that's me.
All right, another question from the fan chat.
At LP_lover4life88. If you weren't famous, what path would your life take in? Period. BTW, you're an awesome dude. I love you.
Love it.
I think that's actually, I mean, similar to the last question. I actually grew up drawing and painting, and since I was 3, like my parents actually, one of the stories behind that was that my parents used to give me like a pen and like napkins or whatever when I was really little when we go to a restaurant, because they realized if they did that, I would shut up.
Nice.
And they could like finish their meal in peace. And so, yeah, since I was a little kid, I was always drawing, and that led eventually to art classes, and I eventually went to Art Center College of Design, which is here in Pasadena, and got my Bachelor in Fine Arts in illustration.
And now you design a lot of your albums and everything.
I do work on the album artwork. We have a little like art team that includes me and my bandmate Johan, and who I met at art school, by the way, and a bunch of other people, motion graphics, graphic designers, illustrators, etc. And Joe and I we're kind of creative directors when it comes to anything you see that has a Linkin Park.
That's really cool. More questions from the fans, because this is what it's all about. Mike Diva, what's going on?
Well, Aline LP fan says, which Linkin Park song can you relate to the most emotionally?
Emotionally.
I'm feeling that. Thank you for that one.
I actually don't have emotions, so
At least you're honest.
I don't, and so I basically just listen to the noises and whichever one. It's almost like looking at like sparkly lights, like whichever one shines the brightest, that's where my attention goes. In this case, the newer songs, I think for any artist, like when you've got newer music,
Yeah.
you know, the newer music tends to be, because it's new, that's where you're at in that point in time. And so a lot of these songs are a lot of fun to play live. We play Lost in the Echo live on this tour, and we're actually playing another heavier, weirder song called Victimized, which is, that's a ton of fun to play live.
And how does the experience change when you perform live versus what we see and connect to online?
I think sometimes it can be more raw and more like you get a sense of, it kind of rounds out the experience, because, you know, just seeing and hearing and feeling it all at once, standing in the venue, at least for me as a fan, has always been something that really, it can be more memorable, or at least just rounds out the experience and makes it something different. For sure.
Now let's go to another fan question.
Alwix says, Mike, who was your musical inspiration and why? P.S. I love any song that you're featured in. Much love.
I grew up listening to a lot of different music. First and foremost, I grew up on hip hop, and I guess the first albums that I really got into, a lot of them were actually produced by Rick Rubin.
Yeah.
Beastie Boys, Run DMC, LL, and then on to some of the other rap artists that came out around that time, like Big Daddy Kane, Boogie Down Productions, etc. That made me really nervous the first time we worked with Rick, which was now 3 albums ago, and it took me like months before I got really over that. You know, I'm just sitting there in the studio just looking at him being like, this is the guy. Like, of my top 10 favorite albums, he's probably produced more than half of them.
How do you get over that when you're nervous and you need to perform and just be yourself?
He's really mellow. Like,
Yeah.
he's not, I think with some people, if he wanted to, he could freak me out, for sure. But he's very mellow, and he's, with us, he's been a great match, because our band is built on the philosophy of like a hybrid theory. Like, that was our first album, but it was actually the band name. Before it was an album name, it was our band name. And that's kind of how we envisioned what we do, is that we all like different kinds of music and all these different things, and we're just gonna push all of it together, and instead of making it this like patchwork of different things, we're gonna make it kind of blend into one thing. And Rick is that guy too. Like, he listens to so many different types of music. He really loves like everything. And when it comes to like actually working with artists, if you look at his discography, he's had a ton of experience with so many different genres that when we're in the studio talking about, you know, different musical references, if we were with a different producer, some of the stuff we would be talking about would kind of miss them. Like,
yeah, definitely.
You know, you could jump from the stuff I was just saying, like Public Enemy and whatever, to, you know, some obscure hardcore band, to like some 70s prog rock, to some pop artist. And somewhere along the way, a different producer would be like, yeah, I'm not that familiar with that stuff, but I know the other things. Rick, none of it misses Rick. So we can just have that conversation and always be in lockstep.
That's a great dynamic. Now, we did have some people that wanted to know, since you have scored movies like The Raid, are you going to star in any movies, or what other stuff can we expect from the film world?
I am not an actor. I got on stage a couple times when I was in high school, and I think my friends and I always joke about how, I mean, they definitely remember it. It was very memorable for them because it was just so bad. Like I'm a horrible actor.
So no acting, but more scoring though.
But more scoring for sure. I did enjoy. I did score The Raid, which was, if you haven't seen it,
huge.
Thank you. It's a super violent and super. It's not super bloody, but it's definitely like a great action film. So if you're into action films and fast-paced, you know, type of thing like that, then yeah, check that out. But yeah, I think the next thing I want to score would probably not be action. I want to try something else, and we'll see what happens.
Now, it has been so awesome having you here today. I think interactive music videos like this is where we're at, and just finding new experiences to connect with your fans. So where do you see it all going, as a last question?
Well, for me, like I said, this video is an experiment, and like on one hand, I love the fact that, you know, first of all, I'm grateful that everybody kind of like went along with it, because the label, there were people at the label who were nervous about it. They were saying, well, you're not going to get all those YouTube numbers. They're going to be going to your .com. Like you're going to have less numbers over there, and that's important to us. So what do we think about that? And luckily, they just went with us on it. And it takes risks like that to get somewhere new, you know? So on the plus side, this video has been received really well, and it's really made an impact with a lot of people. I'd say on the downside, I would like the next thing to not be limited to like just Facebook and just Flash, for example. So we're gonna look at ways to be able to kind of get something, the next visual thing, out to the whole Linkin Park world fan base. I don't know if it'll be actually the next video, or if it'll be somewhere down the line, but we'll see what happens.
A little tease for all of you watching. Well, thank you so much, Mike Shinoda, everyone.